Idaho Matters podcast is brought to you by St. Luke's On-Demand Virtual Care, which allows patients to see a provider from their home using a computer or smartphone with on-demand care for common ailments, such as a cough, sore throat, or a sinus issue. More information at stlukesonline.org.
Laws are being drafted and debated at the State House right now. Laws that will likely affect your everyday life as an Idahoan. The Connector helps you keep up with the legislative session with clear reporting, local context, and explanations that make it all make sense. Stay connected to the State House with the Connector, Idaho Daily News. Listen wherever you get your podcasts.
From the studios of Boise State Public Radio News, I'm Samantha Wright, filling in for Jim Gaudette. It's Idaho Matters. It's almost Valentine's Day, and today we're looking at some unusual ways to say, I love you. The World Center for Birds of Prey has put a twist on this romantic holiday with Talon-tines Day, because nothing says love quite like razor-sharp talons and impressive wingspans. On Saturday, you can meet raptors like Clara. She's an American kestrel. She's with us in studio right now. In fact, she's right next to me, and you're going to hear her. That was her. She is smacking the microphone. She's right next to me, along with Tate Mason, the director of the World Center for Birds of Prey, and their curator of education, Curtis Evans. Hello, Clara. Thanks for being on the show today. All right. And I have said, please talk, Clara. Talk all you want. So, Curtis, she's talking. Is she happy? Is she?
Yeah, she's getting settled in. I think we're upstairs in a studio, and I think getting up here was new to her because she was in her kennel. So she's just kind of taking a look around, making sure everyone in here knows who the boss is.
Exactly.
And, I think we'll hear a few other vocalizations from her, and she gets settled in.
Tell us about her.
Oh my gosh, she's the cutest thing in the world. And it's a struggle for me because she's just so cute, but I have to teach people how deadly and ferocious she is, and all she ever does is just convince people time and time again that she's just the cutest thing around. She's a falcon, but a small falcon. So we call them kestrels, American kestrel. They got this blue crown around their head, which is in the sunlight really pops. She's got the dark stripes down her cheeks for helping reduce glare, this cute little flesh-ripping beak on the end of her face.
Flesh-ripping.
There's a button little nose there, I think. And then from there, the boys and the girls start to look different. She is a girl, and so she's got the stripes and the streaks where the boys go for polka dots.
Ah, I'm seeing the stripes down the breast.
Yep.
Yes. And she's not very big.
No, 100 grams, give or take. Depends if she's eaten or not for the day.
I mean, she's just tiny. You do not think of her as, a deadly bird.
Yeah, this is what it's a nightmare for a mouse. This is what a mouse stays up at night thinking about.
Wow.
And otherwise, for us though, as humans, there's no risk. Like, we're perfectly fine out in your neighborhood. You'll see them, all in our neighborhoods, schools, foothills, all throughout Idaho. You're fine. But if you've got a mouse in the neighborhood, they're on notice.
Tate, we were asking, because she was out in the green room before the show, and she's doing this thing with her tail. What is it, and what does it mean?
Sure, she's bobbing her tail, and it's one of the common characteristics of kestrels. So you might look up at a power line and see the silhouette of a bird. Maybe it looks like a dove, and it could be a kestrel. And you look for that tail bobbing, really characteristic, kind of back and forth motion with the tail. And that's really indicative of the behavior of an American kestrel.
She almost looks like she's waving with the tail, kind of wave, 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 wave. She's looking all over the place. She's very, and I know it's lunchtime, but Curtis, you're feeding her something.
Yes, we have a special mixture called Mises Pieces, which is
pieces of mice.
Pieces of mice.
Okay, yeah. Sorry about that, guys. Tell us more about kestrels. Where can we find them? Where can we see them?
Kestrels are found all across North America and South America. And so they're a fairly ubiquitous and common falcon. I would say the most common falcon in North America, although they do have a declining population, which we've been concerned about for some time. The kestrels in the Idaho and the Intermountain West are doing fairly well. They have stable populations here. But places like the East Coast and up through northern Canada, they have a declining population, which has been studied extensively.
Wow, she's beautiful. And I have been saying that kestrels are the smallest birds of prey in America, and that is incorrect.
Kestrels are the smallest falcon in North America, the smallest falcon in Idaho, but there are smaller raptors, like the elf owl, for example, which would be the smallest raptor in North America.
Wow, this is amazing. Okay, how long do they live? Do we know?
So there's been a lot of different banding and population studies on kestrels. I would say an average, a good lifespan in the wild would be 5 years, was what you can expect out of a kestrel in your neighborhood. But Clara here, do you have a follow-up question?
Yeah.
Is 9 years old.
Oh my gosh.
And so she's about doubled that wild life expectancy, which is a common thing that we see with raptors in captivity in our care. Just those wonderful things like healthcare and food when you're sick and someone to take you to the doctor and not being chased by predators. So
you're freezing in the winter.
Kind of getting that nice domestic life that our birds get to hang out with us.
We should talk about that because she's a bird ambassador. Tate, tell us about bird ambassadors and why they're important. You don't just bring them in just because you want to put them in a cage.
Yeah, correct. So the World Center for Birds of Prey is the headquarters of the Peregrine Fund. Peregrine Fund is a nonprofit conservation organization with the mission to conserve raptors worldwide. So how do we conserve raptors? There's a lot of ways to go about that. For example, captive breeding of a critically endangered species. But so often, it's human behavior that's implicated in the reason for the decline of the raptor. And so in helping humans to understand how to coexist with birds of prey, oftentimes they have to be introduced to them. Like, what are these things? People might see a little dot in the sky and have very little respect for what that is. But when they meet these birds up close, when we introduce these kids, Curtis and I introduce these birds to a classroom full of third graders, there's such awe and wonder in experiencing the bird of prey. And so that sort of experience in a child's life or even in anybody's life can create the sort of atmosphere where we're able to kind of fix the behaviors that are causing the decline in the raptors in the first place.
I can say it makes all the difference in the world to sit or stand next to a live raptor. I've gotten the privilege like this right now to do that, and it's amazing. So hold that thought. We're speaking live in studio with Clara. She's an American kestrel, and Tate Mason, the director of the World Center for Birds of Prey, and their curator of education, Curtis Evans, about their Talon-tines Day event this Saturday in Boise. So speaking of getting a chance to get up and close with raptors, tell us about Talon-tines Day. What is it?
Yeah, so Talon-tines Day is our take on Valentine's Day, if that wasn't honey enough for you. It's going to be a day, Saturday. We're open 10 to 5 to 4, till 4. We have programs throughout the day to come out and meet live raptor presentations. So just like we're hanging out with Clara right now, we'll have different birds out to meet the public throughout the day, scheduled programs at 11, 1, and 3, and then some special Valentine enrichment for the birds. We've got some people who've put together some Valentine cards that the birds will then be able to open and enjoy in front of visitors.
And eat.
Well, of course.
Yes, eating.
I mean, if I got a Valentine's card without chocolate, I don't know what we're doing. So, yes, there'll be some treats there, too.
There'll be the bird equivalent of raptor equivalent of chocolate. There's also going to be free hot chocolate for the humans, right? And coffee?
Yeah, free hot chocolate and coffee. And I've met multiple people that took their first date to the World Center for Birds of Prey. People that have gotten engaged at the World Center for Birds of Prey.
Nice.
And interestingly, if you think about it, it's a really meaningful experience because the mission of the Peregrine Fund, conservation of birds of prey worldwide, we are actually doing the work to save species. And that's a powerful thing. And sometimes you don't expect it, but you go out there and you fall in love, not only with the birds, but sometimes with each other.
Oh, that is awesome. I like that sentiment. And you mentioned their raptor presentations. I think you pretty much explained why you do Talon-tines Day. But you've got other great events coming up. You've got Hatch Day Extravaganza for Easter, and you've got some stuff in between. So let's start with in between.
Yeah, let's start with the family field trip weekend. That is the weekend after Talon-tines Day. So that'd be February 21st and 22nd. And we do 2 family field trip weekends each winter, one in January and one in February. And what we do is we waive admission for the kids. And so all the youth are free. And then we have extra arts and crafts and gear our presentation for that level of audience. And just kind of create a space for families to get out of the house and have a fun time, a meaningful experience in an economical way.
And Hatch Day Extravaganza?
So some of our birds, we know the day they hatched. And so we can celebrate their hatch day throughout the year. But many of our birds, we may not know what day they hatched. And so we kind of think that the Easter weekend is a perfect weekend to celebrate the hatch days of all of the birds in our at our facility.
And that will be on Saturday, not on Easter Sunday.
Yes.
Good. And you're open pretty much all the time, not just holidays. And what can people see every day? You've got indoor flights, outdoor flights.
Sure. We did a renovation in 2023, and we created these new awesome education spaces. For example, the Open Sky Theater, which we did all of our presentations for Superb Owl Saturday, which was last Saturday. And we were able to fly our raptors around the Open Sky Theater. We also have our amphitheater, our Raptor Ridge Amphitheater. Most of our bird presentations are flighted now, meaning the birds are flying. Something we've been really trying to move toward is getting the birds up in the air. Such an awesome experience. So whenever the weather cooperates, if it's super rainy or windy, it's hard to do that. But we've been getting some really nice days this winter. And, we've been flying birds like a gyrfalcon and peregrine falcon, Swainson's hawk, and lanner falcon, other birds that you might not see anywhere else. And here you are just south of Boise and watching these raptors fly. It's such an amazing experience.
It is. Curtis, you want to?
Yeah, one of my favorite new things is our condor cams. So at the World Center for Birds of Prey, we started off as a breeding facility for endangered species, and we're still doing that work. Today it's with condors. And so we've had 4 eggs laid so far. We're expecting upwards of a dozen or more throughout the season. So it's really fun to watch that progress, those eggs and then the chicks as they progress towards a wild release. And so
right, and we have new cameras on new nest boxes, which is really awesome. So we're expecting a first hatch right around March 27th, and then we'll be able to see these baby condors being raised on these great cameras.
Oh my gosh. Okay. I want to ask this of both of you, but Tate, you're pretty plugged into how raptors are doing around the world. Give me your biggest fear and your biggest hope right now surrounding these birds.
Sure. My biggest fear, we've got 52% of raptor species around the world are in decline, meaning there's less of them every year. A third of bird of prey species are threatened or endangered with a high likelihood of going extinct in the next 50 years. That's my biggest fear. But recognizing that humans are driving most of those declines, and humans have such ingenuity, such creativity, that we can absolutely solve these problems. And so that's really a hopeful message.
Curtis, what about you?
Yeah, just the idea that as we learn about these birds, we're not learning about them to change them. We're learning about them so that we can better share this planet with them. And so as we discover the causes of these declines, it's an opportunity for us to be better neighbors and community members with these birds.
Yeah, making ecosystems healthier for everyone.
Curtis, you get to hold her on your arm a lot. How cool is this job?
Oh, am I working?
Yeah.
Oh, yes. It's a dream. It is absolutely a dream to work with the birds and work with the public and get that feeling that I get when I work with the birds, that awe. It never goes away, and it's so gratifying to see that in other people when they meet Clara, when they meet these other birds. It's nice to see other people feel the way that I feel.
Oh, she's beautiful. She's moving her tail. She's looking around. She's turning around. Oh, it's wonderful. All right.
Should she sign off? Should we say hello? Should we say goodbye?
Oh.
Maybe? There we go.
Oh, there we go. Nice. All right. Well, I want to thank you, all three of you, for coming in today, Clara and Tate and Curtis. Oh, thank you, Clara. We've been speaking with Clara. She's an American kestrel, along with Tate Mason, the director of the World Center for Birds of Prey, and their curator of education, Curtis Evans, about their Talon-tines Day event this Saturday in Boise. We're going to put some pictures of Clara on our website, boisestatepublicradio.org, and some links. You'll find that after the show.
You've been listening to Idaho Matters from Boise State Public Radio. I'm Gemma Gaudette.
Hi, it's Terry Gross, host of Fresh Air. Hey, take a break from the 24-hour news cycle with us and listen to long-form interviews with your favorite authors, actors, filmmakers, comedians, and musicians, the people making the art that nourishes us and speaks to our times. So listen to the Fresh Air podcast from NPR and WHYY.